In the original GBA SP case, I used to own a Game Boy SP long time ago, a galaxy far, far away, different age. So I just had to buy the new Rg34xxsp, the most dumbest name for a console I've ever heard of. Let's call it let's call it the Ecto Cooler, the Ecto Flipper. That's what I'll call it. I'll call it the Ecto Flipper, because calling it that is just annoying. So I'm going to turn it on. This one I have installed in it MUAS. Get this thing started. And I'll show you this too. I kind of just got into the habit of buying these because at this point in time, due to the RAM issue going on and the high cost of RAM, they have lowered the RAM of these consoles, these little GBA SP clones, to only 1 gigabyte, which is sufficient for GBA, PS1, and a lot of games. I mean, you're still getting something out of it. However, what I've noticed thanks for that. What I've noticed is that they've kept the price the same. So I actually have the MUS card inside of this one. I didn't actually switch it back over to this one. But it's funny because they've kept the price the same for these consoles. I'm basically making this video to kind of give people some kind of guidance on how they can still acquire a 2 gigabyte version. You have to go to the settings if you do end up buying one. I've been back and forth with Anbernic about it on AliExpress to talk about what do they can they go and look for one in the warehouse and then sell it to me, because I want no business with the 1 gigabyte. What do you need 2 gigabytes for in this particular console? You know, in the end of the day, why not just do what I've done and go buy a cell phone? You know, I saw some guy online had this concept and I decided to go with it to, what is that? All right, not mess around too much. Try to get this in the view. Hold on. Somebody's idea was to just, use their cell phone. This is LG G8. Get this out of the way. Use their cell phone and just put a controller on it, and then apply one of these little magnetic flippy doodle things, and create your own little cool little video game console that you can just kind of put the controller on and play whatever you want. And I did it after I saw that guy's thing. I said, okay, that makes sense. And I went and I did it myself. And now I can play GameCube on this thing and a lot more powerful games than you can play on this thing. And it's really compact. You fold it up, put it away. And this is the best controller for this sort of thing that you can it's a magnet, so you can take it off. And so this controller is really cool. It's on AliExpress. Sometimes it's on sale. I'll show you the name of it. Ace Gamer controller. It's Bluetooth, and you can pretty easily put the magnet strip on the back, and it fits. It's a really compact controller. I bought it without even knowing it had this option. But you see this joysticks here. You can go click in the back. There's a little button, and then the joysticks pop up, and you get the whole. Everything is possible with this controller. It has all controls. So I buy a few of these things, and sometimes they don't have the buttons that you need. They're just really bare bones stuff. as far as cost, this is on AliExpress, typically for 18 bucks, but sometimes the price drops to 15. So just keep an eye out for that if you're looking for something like that. And yeah, my little guide I want to give you. I bought this one first. So like when this thing came out and I got kind of fed up with the Mayu Flip, which was just a tragic console, like constantly hinge breaking, all of that, I decided, okay, I'm gonna just go jump ship to this new Anbernic. So I figured this was better. And it is. What do you want 2 gigabytes for? I go online and I see these guys saying, you don't need the extra gigabyte. Who cares? Well, first of all, the price isn't changed on the device. If indeed they're taking away RAM, why don't they switch the price down a little bit? They didn't do that, obviously, because they want that money. They don't care. So how did things go for me here? I bought this one first, right? And as soon as I read online about them lowering the RAM on the device, I say, hell no, I want to get another one at least within the window of these things still being 2 gigabyte in the warehouses somewhere. And that's what I did. I bought a second one right around the time a big snowstorm hit New York here. And it's like this thing took forever to come in the mail, so it was a hell of a long wait. But once it finally came, I checked the RAM on it, and it is a 2 gigabyte version. System details. So it has a total of like 1,980 something megabytes. MUOS does not use up a lot of RAM. So like the one on here is using up more RAM, like 700 megabytes, versus MUOS using 85 megabytes. So that's interesting. And I bought another one off of, like, I'm reading about where you can still kind of acquire the 2 gigabyte. Like, I've even talked to them like, okay, how can I still get the 2 gigabyte? And the guys at Anbernic on AliExpress will tell you they don't know that the warehouse has a mix of the 2 gigabyte and the 1 gigabyte, which is like bad business, don't you think? You don't know what you're selling to people. And now they've changed it. Like a few of the listings on AliExpress will say 1 gigabyte, so that they're not like confusing people. I'll let you know like a little bit how you can still acquire the 2 gigabyte, because I know there's probably a lot of people scrambling to pick up the 2 gigabyte one at this point. This is a really cool console, but the fact that they've lowered the RAM, did it in such a discreet, like underhanded kind of way, that they didn't announce it, and then kept selling the console at the exact price it was before without offering a discount and any of that stuff. That's completely shady, and that's just ridiculous. That's obviously, I think, lawsuit territory. You shouldn't be selling something at the same price it was before while taking away capability, because it does make a difference. There are, things that you would like to do with this console, and you're simply not going to be able to do it due to RAM limitations. So I'm going to get to what happened next. I bought another one because I figured, okay, I'll get another one. I'll have one that I'm just going to use on the regular and like make, and then I'm going to just buy one to kind of put in the museum, as a relic. And then I figured, okay, buy one so that someday maybe I could sell it and maybe make some profit. I mean, it's a little bit of a thought on that. And then it came in the mail, and I opened it up, and it was a black one too. So it was like this. I could reenact my thoughts at the time. Well, it's still kind of early. Well, I mean, I bought it straight from China. It's not like they're sold out over there, right? Yeah, I'll be all right. because I'm reading online about people actually now getting the 1 GB ones, and I'm like, but if I buy it from the Chinese instead of buying it from like some reseller, maybe they're gonna have a console in the back area of the warehouse or something that's got 2 GB still. Let me get that. I know I'm great, like overly analyzing this, but I get it in the mail. It comes. I wait how long, and then I open it up, and it says 9 something 100 MB of memory, and your heart sinks. You're like, oh man, it's over. There's no way I can get it 2 GB now, and I spent $60 something on this thing, maybe almost 70 with the taxes. It sucked. It sucked to get that, to have lost the lottery. So I shipped that one right back, and I said, screw you guys, man. That ain't it. I'm not paying that price for that. Below it, I'll definitely buy one at the 1 GB for a cheaper price. So how did I get this new one? Bam, right here. This beautiful, beautiful. I think this is like, I got it now in my hands. Seeing it online, it doesn't look that good. But in actual person, the SNES version is a sweet one. I think it's probably the best one. It looked like a little Macintosh computer. I used to have a little Macintosh, so this is giving me some nostalgia. But I think it's the best looking one of them all. I got this like fruit roll up looking GameCube one, because it doesn't have the colorful buttons. A lot of people hate on these buttons because it does look kind of goofy. A black console with these rainbow ass buttons. But anyway, this one is just pure nostalgia. For me, I grew up on the Super Nintendo. I'm that old, and I think it's cool. I guess I should turn it on. It's just the stock stuff. I haven't switched out the firmware yet. So this one's 2 gigs. How did I acquire the 2 gig now when it's actually really freaking hard to get the 2 GB one? I bought it from the same place that I got this one. My infinite wisdom, after I got this one for 2 GB, I calculated, well, if I buy it from the Chinese warehouse, it'll probably be old stock that they just want to get rid of, or from over there, whatever. It's actually the opposite. The stock that they have here at the local Anbernic store is old stock. Whatever's going on, they haven't gotten a shipment of the new ones yet, and they might have gotten it now. I don't know. But between when I bought this I bought months ago, and this one I just bought recently, I got 2 2-GB ones from that same exact warehouse in New Jersey. Just so you can know, if you're looking for this console and you still want it, apparently they still have a couple of the dang 2 GB over in the warehouse in New Jersey. Just a word of advice, however, this thing is, they're not going to look. I asked them, would you look, just open it, check the specs? I don't think they have access to do that. Basically, they're not at the warehouse. Like, the people that are running the website and the managers or whatever, they're running the whole operation from some other place, while the consoles are inside of some sort of fulfillment center. What's a fulfillment center? Well, it's a building where they just keep a bunch of stuff, and then they ship it out for a company it's a warehouse. Fulfillment center, warehouse, same thing. It's just a warehouse. So I'll tell you something though, before this video ends. I used to work for Amazon, and I was kind of shocked the stuff that we had in the Amazon warehouse, Amazon fulfillment center. But yeah, you could see like stuff that's like ancient stuff from the early 2000s still in the Amazon warehouse. Like, that's just how warehouses work. If they have a box full of video game controllers for like Sega Genesis or N64, then they have it and they just stash it in the back of their warehouse. Like, you can literally buy old video game consoles and stuff today because they somehow have a warehouse full of that stuff. It's just the way it works. They haven't discarded it. So this is how I acquired these. I bought these from the warehouse in New Jersey, if you buy it from a local seller in the USA, there's a high likelihood that they might have some left in stock in the warehouse because the shipment hasn't come in yet from China of the new version. So, if you're still looking for the 2 gigabyte and you're in America, try to get from local because that's probably the best bet. All right.